For an agentic system, the evidence has a particular shape because the thing to be reconstructed is not a single output but a course of action. A useful audit trail records not just what the agent decided, but the path it took, what it was asked to do, what data and tools it reached for, what authority it used, what intermediate steps it took, where it stayed inside its boundary and where it escalated, and what finally happened as a result. The outcome alone is the easy half. The path is what lets a reviewer judge whether the decision was acceptable, and that is the half most trails leave out. The decisive discipline is that this evidence is produced as the system runs, not assembled when someone asks for it. The logging and the records are part of the running system, generated as a byproduct of operation, so the trail already exists when it is needed. Evidence reconstructed after the fact is weaker on every count. It is incomplete because the detail was not captured at the time. It is less trustworthy because it was assembled by people who already knew what they were looking for. And it is slow, arriving long after the moment when acting on it would have mattered. An enterprise that has to build its audit trail in response to a question has, in effect, no audit trail. Evidence also has to be durable and protected because its value depends entirely on being trusted. A record that can be quietly altered proves nothing. So the trail has to be tamper resistant, retained for as long as the obligation behind it requires, and complete enough that gaps do not become the very thing an investigation fastens on. And none of this is free. You cannot capture and keep everything about every system forever. So the depth of the trail, like the depth of assurance, is matched to consequence. A system acting on money or on a person's rights keeps a fuller and longer record than one whose mistakes are trivial and easily reversed. The aim is not maximal logging. It is sufficient evidence, the record that lets you answer for each system the question that system is likely to face. All of this comes together as examination readiness, the state in which a request to show that a system is under control does not trigger a scramble because the answer already exists. Readiness is not a document prepared for an examination. It is a property of how the enterprise runs. The questions an examiner asks are predictable because they are the questions this course has been answering all along. What does this system do? What is it allowed to do on its own? Who owns it? How do you know it is working? What happens when it goes wrong? And show me. An enterprise that has built the controls, the lines of defense, the assurance, and the evidence trail can answer each as a matter of course because the answer is a byproduct of governing the system well. The contrast between a ready enterprise and an unready one is stark, and examiners learn to read it quickly. The ready enterprise produces its system inventory, points to the classification and the owner, shows the boundary and the assurance results, and pulls the audit trail for any decision asked about. The unready one assembles a binder, narrates its intentions, and offers documents about controls in place of evidence that they held. The first is answering from a system that runs. The second is performing for the occasion. And the questions get harder as expectations mature. Examiners move from asking whether you have a policy to asking you to demonstrate control of a specific decision a specific system made, built for the examination that probes the running system, not the one that inspects the paperwork. Next, what makes evidence good enough for a regulator or a court, and your evidence checklist.